Hi, my name is Pamela Dare. I will be discussing the impact of environmental enrichment during morning cleaning. Animals in captivity are experiencing chronic and acute stress. Overall, research in this area likes to focus on ways to decrease that stress, as completely eradicating it is unlikely. For shelters in particular, ones that have enrichment programs have been shown to benefit dogs by increasing biological health, which also decreases the drain on vet resources, or by decreasing stereotypies themselves, which is a benefit to the dogs, as stereotypies are generally a negative indication of welfare. Dogs that have enrichment programs are also more likely to pass behavioral tests, which makes them more likely to be adopted. One thing that our research did was propose new ways to categorize enrichment. Majority of enrichment programs treat all items as equally beneficial, with little focus on comparison of the items and whether or not one item is more beneficial in a specific situation than other items. So the categories we proposed is calming. So if that is meant to focus the animal on the item, focus them in, calm them down. The other is arousing. So it stimulates the animal, either physically by having them chase a ball and release stress, or mentally, physiologically, such as aroused by food, things like that. This study in particular wanted to compare enrichment items during morning cleaning, which is our proxy for acute stress. We measured several variables, as that's been shown to obtain a more complete picture than when you just measure one variable at a time. So we did look at behavior, vocalizations, body position, surface temperature, and engagement. However, because of the time restraints on this presentation, we will only be discussing body position in this talk. The goal of our study overall is to determine if enrichment is beneficial during acute stress itself. Majority of past research has looked at chronic stress, and so we wanted to look at acute stress. We predicted that calming over arousing enrichment, as well as food enrichment, would produce body positions that indicate the lowest stress. We did include life history traits as well, to see their influence on benefit of enrichment. But again, we will not be discussing them in this talk. The importance of our study is to look, we will add if the intended purpose, the new categories we propose actually matter, if there is a difference. Comparing traditional ways to categorize items, if there is a difference there, as well as beginning the investigation into individual preferences and how that affects enrichment benefit. Overall, we hope to improve the welfare of shelter dogs, both for their whole length of stay as well as moment to moment. For the shelters themselves, we hope to improve enrichment efficiency and optimize their resources, by suggesting situations where the enrichment item is the most benefited or beneficial, instead of giving enrichment items that the dogs in particular never use. All of our subjects were housed at the Nebraska Humane Society. We had 7 conditions total, so a 2x3 design with a control condition. So we had calming versions of food, scent, and tactile, as well as stimulating versions of food, scent, and tactile. And then our 7th condition is with no enrichment. So our first question was if calming versus arousing produced different results. And the answer was yes. Calming enrichment did significantly reduce body position compared to arousing enrichment. This is how we measured body position with the standardized scale. So 1 is a neutral position of the dog, 5 is highly stressed, and 3 is somewhat stressed. We then asked if there was a difference based on the traditional way of categorization, so food, scent, or tactile. And again, the answer was yes. What was surprising, though, is food was not the best stress buffer, considering it's one of the most commonly given enrichment items. In fact, we found that scent reduced body position better than food or tactile. And so at the very base, it's further support that diversity in enrichment items is very important, and is a beginning proof, beginning support that the one that is most common may not be the one that is most beneficial to the dog. Our last question is if there is significant interactions between the proposed categories and the traditional way of categorization. And the answer was again, yes. Within calming, which is the pink bars, scent was again the lowest. And when comparing scent itself, calming was the lowest. So out of the 6 enrichment conditions, calming scent, which in this study was lavender, produced the lowest body position. So in conclusion, we found that enrichment items are not equally beneficial in their reduction of stress, and therefore it is time to reevaluate how enrichment is thought, that it's not equally beneficial in all situations, and we need to have a proper strategy for choosing and prescribing enrichment as the dogs need them, rather than all dogs get the same item the entire shelter. I would like to thank my advisor, Dr. Rosemary Strasser, the community partner that allowed us to collect data, the Nebraska Humane Society, the people who helped collect my data, as well as the continuing support from the UNO-GRACA organization. Thank you.